Well, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Do you think it's high time I get motivated to get going for the day? First things first, I think I need to get out there and find out what's the matter with these goats. Or that's gonna drive me crazy. Fortunately, 3 of these guys are gonna be heading to the butcher. I think, what is it? Like a week from now, maybe, if that. And I think I'm gonna be a little bit sad, but glad at the same time. It's a good thing you don't know what we're saying, huh? Yeah, I'll miss you. Even I'll miss you. There's this one, and that one, and that one. Actually, I'm gonna keep these 2 smaller ones for just a little bit longer. They might be a little bit harder to let go of. I don't know, maybe they're just lonely. They seem very quiet now. You guys are actually good. You've got plenty of hay, you've got water. Yeah, you need your grain, but we still got a couple hours. I've decided that this is gonna be one project I'm gonna try to tackle. And I could have used a little bit more daylight, but that's on me. But I need to get all this stuff cleaned up. Bunch of bird feeders from clear back when we still had meat birds. That's how long these things have just been sitting out here on the back deck. Probably getting sun worn and the plastic might be a little bit brittle. I think they'll be okay though. I just need to get them in. Just look at all this stuff. All of this random stuff could easily go. A lot of it we're not even using and it's getting messed on by the cats and everything else. So enough talking, I just need to get through this. I put it off long enough. Crack that one a little bit, but I think it'll be alright. Ah, see, check that out. Got all the... That didn't take too long and I got all the chicken stuff. I think that's all of it that we've got back here. Now, I'm gonna try to get these cleaned up and, well, maybe not yet. No, I'm just gonna get these all in one place, get them out of the way, and keep going on the deck. Alright, all this stuff I know can go. I think we're gonna call this throwaway stuff. This is a bunch of stuff that we had harvested from our puny little garden that had our garden space that had just grown over with grass and all that kind of stuff. We decided to go ahead and harvest it anyway, but it's sat out here for days and days in the hot and cold and freezing. But yeah, so needless to say, I don't think we're gonna be wanting to eat any of that. Chickens will love it though. Jeez, look at that. Ooh, can you tell that? There's frost in there. That's frost. These things are cold. I wanted to get them cut in half to help our chickens out, but goodness gracious. Whew, my hands are freezing. Nah, good enough. Oh. I'm in kind of a dangerous spot right now because there's so much stuff out here that my first inclination would be to toss all of these, like all these pods and planter boxes and stuff. A lot of these I would just be inclined to toss, but it's getting close to that time of year where we're going to be thinking about doing our garden starts inside the house. So I'm kind of treading a thin line here. What do I keep and what can I just toss? Look at this thing. 50 degrees. No way is it that warm out here. Call that trash. Consolidate. I feel like I'm getting spring fever early. How about the rest of you guys? How the fire gloves ended up right there. This thing I think we're just gonna toss. Our little one's not quite there yet, and it's already gone through her 2 older brothers. I think we're just gonna get her a booster by the time she reaches that age. Now all that can go out to the curb. Yay! There's so many of these planter boxes. I think think what I'm gonna end up doing is just sorting them by size a little bit. These ones were a little bit nicer. They're a little bit sturdier plastic. I can't remember where we got them. We had a video about them a while back. Maybe I'll post it in the description below. But they're a little bit more sturdy plastic. They're not just the crumply stuff. I can see this stuff. These are a lot more substantial. We'll definitely save these. Not sure about these others. Some of you guys remember making these things at the beginning of the year. I've just been sitting out here. I didn't realize we had so many of these decent hard plastic ones. Maybe if we're gonna want more, we'll just toss the flimsy ones and order more of these. Same things with these planter boxes. We have a good number that are kind of like this. They're that sturdier plastic, and they haven't been all broken apart and made brittle by the sun. So we might just end up tossing some of these. Throw that in the maybe pile. These are still nice looking. Set these aside. So we've got all of these boxes and 3 potential throwaways. So if we end up throwing those away, I won't feel too bad. So before I toss any more of this stuff, just because Rachel is a big part of the planting, you know, for our garden and stuff, I just thought it'd be good just to let her know, you know, I'm tossing some of this stuff away. Is there anything you want to... She said, throw away whatever you feel like you need to. I could get in a lot of trouble with this. I could really get in a throwaway kind of mood. These things have really had a tendency to accumulate over time. And so, like specifically these 6-packs, a lot of them are in pretty decent shape, even though they're the flimsier plastic. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is just going through and maybe weeding out the ones that are not so pretty. I might keep some of these flimsier ones, but see, things like, I don't know, things like that are obviously a lot more warped. I think I'm just going to go ahead and say toss. I feel a lot better about a pile that size of the flimsier ones. And I get to throw all that away, which is good. And look at that. Got another pile that I can take out to the garbage. I don't want you guys getting any wrong ideas, like, you know, Rachel's this hoarder who just likes to stockpile a whole bunch of, you know, trashy stuff, and I'm just here waiting for the go-ahead to throw it all away. I'm just as guilty, if not more so, of hoarding and like collecting a whole bunch of stuff, you know, that stuff that, well, it's not all trash, you know, we might end up using it one day. I have just as much tendency to collect that stuff, and it just piles up and piles up. It's good to just throw it away when we've got a whole bunch of stuff that's still good. All of these things that are not warped. These things are still good. And, you know, I tend to save some of this stuff. Look at this, you know. I tend to save some of that stuff still. And quite honestly, we've got enough decent stuff that will end up being, you know, perfectly good. And there's a lot of it. So I'm going to toss this. I think in the long run, we'll be glad that we just tossed all that stuff. Because a lot of that just adds a lot more to the clutter and stress than anything else. Now, all we have to deal with is this when it comes time for planting season. I may even toss this one, yeah. Now we don't have to rummage through and toss as we're trying to plant. This is a lot better. Some of these chairs, I might save some of these ones that look a little bit more sturdy. But we've since gotten some nicer chairs, and they're a mess. I don't even think we should try to sell them. Maybe just put them out on the curb if anybody else wants to take them. You'd want to keep this and wash this up, maybe. Oh, for Pete's sake. Would you look at these dumb goats? Look at that. Gotten themselves up inside the feeder. Well, that explains the hole. You're not that bright, are you? Apparently using things the wrong way isn't restricted to human kids. Jumped right back in as soon as I left. I feel like I'm on a roll. I almost hate to stop, but this time of year, once that sun reaches a certain point in the sky, there's just no heat to be had outside anymore, and it's just frigid. But I think we've made okay headway. Got those chairs thrown away, got a lot of 6-packs thrown away, got some things organized and in their groups that we need to clean up. We can get back at it when it's a little bit warmer on another day. So in retrospect, yeah, it would have been a lot better if I had gotten outside sooner. I just could not find the motivation in me today. You guys ever have days like that? You have all the caffeine in the world, you feel plenty rested, but you're just not motivated to do anything. That was kind of my day. I've got all of this stuff in here. I was going to go into and wash all this stuff up in the kitchen sink, but then we decided that since there was so much of it, this would actually be easier. I'll wash this high chair first, since, you know, we're going to be the ones actually using that. I'll save all this chicken stuff for last once we get this out of here. I'm going to get all this stuff good and scrubbed up. In case any of y'all are grossed out by this, don't worry. There'll be a good deep cleaning and sanitizing of the tub after we're all done cleaning this stuff up. Now I'll just get back out on the deck another day. Time for round 2. It is already just horrible cold out here. I really wish I'd have gotten to this sooner yesterday, because it's only gotten colder. Oh, that. And it is just bitter cold, but I told myself I don't want to make any excuses. Rachel's being sweet and warming me up her ice pack. Oh, here she is right now. Oh. I think I'm gonna maybe start by getting all these shoes into one central location. Looking down, 3 or 4 of these are just boots. I use these ones. My oldest uses these ones, but to be quite honest, most of these boots are mine. So I really need to stop giving Rachel grief for all the shoes. We do use those, especially in the snow. I'll bring Rach out here and just get her opinion on all of these. Obviously, we use some of these things like the flip-flops, just not this time of year. Real quick before I forget. So you remember that thermometer that was here the other day that I threw away? Yeah, it turns out it works just fine, and our oldest uses that thing every day for his school. He comes out here and checks the temperature and he has to write it down. And I tossed that. Rach was just telling me he came out today and was looking to see the temperature. It was just like, yeah, the thermometer isn't out there. Whoops. Thankfully, it was just a cheap one that we can replace maybe tomorrow, but yeah. Sometimes it's not always a great thing being in a throwaway mood. Sometimes you throw away stuff that you're actually still using. Fairly certain we're not still going to use a bucket with holes in it. These we rotate for our animal water because it freezes solid overnight. We just bring some new buckets out. These can be melting overnight. This has been sitting here for the last at least a year, but we had been meaning to use it a little while ago for pictures. Rach just informed me that that is going to be used here shortly, like within the next couple weeks or so. But look at that. Isn't that nice? Corners, especially. Corners cleaned out and decluttered. This is good. This is looking good. We've used this before to put the little one under in the middle of summertime. Gonna give this a quick shake out, then store it away with our summer stuff. I was looking around and this is the last corner that we've got. We've got a place to put this where it's going to be just a little bit more sheltered from the elements. I think we're going to go ahead and toss this cushion that you can see back here. That cushion goes with this chair, but It's been sitting out here all summer and all winter, and the cats had just been up here making gross stuff on there. We decided to just toss it. Hey, I told you she had an idea. She was already thinking about these shoes. I thought she may have forgotten about them. Silly me. Look how cute. They're so tiny. I think she's actually outgrown these already. Maybe. She certainly will have by this summer. Ah, doesn't that just feel so good? That looks so much better. This is sort of what we were left with. We had a couple mismatched flip-flops over here, a couple pairs of shoes that, well, they've seen better days. I'll just leave it at that. So we're gonna go ahead and toss those. We're seriously almost there. This we're actually gonna try to get rid of in a yard sale and just sort of be out of the way right here until then. And this is all added to the trash pile for today. Sweet. Alright, that does it. Look at all that. So much more space up here. Man. Oh, that's awesome. Now I think I'm just gonna give this thing a quick sweep and call it good. Man, it makes me feel so like I can breathe. I'm so glad I was able to crank that out in a couple days. I didn't know if I was going to. Thank you guys so much for motivating me. I know Rachel said it before, but you guys watching are a huge motivator. It's crazy how well you guys motivate. So thank you. And get in before I freeze. Thanks again so much for watching. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. We love talking to you guys. All that good stuff. Share us with your friends, social media if you haven't already. We hope you guys stick around for another video. And until then, we hope you have a good one. Take it easy.